Book review on video. This time, Geek Love by Katherine Dunn. Another book crossing book that I got as part of a book ride. I just heard the title, and although I never heard of the book, I never heard of the writer, I just knew I had to read it. Because I'm kind of sad, kind of curious about circus freaks and all that kind of thing. I'm interested in that, you know, the Elephant Man, Freaks and Geeks. It's intriguing. And just the title of this book was just so fascinating that I had to sign up, put on a list of readers for this book. And I was not disappointed when it finally arrived. I started reading almost immediately, and I could hardly put this book down. I was just blown away by this incredibly original setting, fantastic language, the amazing characters, and this plot, which is almost a bit too much sometimes. It veers over into a kind of magical realism, dark magical realism kind of thing, but just kept me turning the pages, kept me reading, and just enthralled by this amazing story. It's the story of a family, the Benevskis, where the father is a carny, going back even a couple of generations. The mother is a former geek. She retired to have her family, her children, and all the children are freaks, and natural born freaks created by the father by basically feeding their mother all kinds of shit, drugs and whatnot, exposing her to radiation. It's a pretty crazy story, even from the very beginning. The surviving children are a human worm, although he does have some limbs, kind of flipper-like limbs, so he's not a complete worm, but that's probably where he would be classified. The two oldest daughters are Siamese twins, conjoined twins, sorry. And the youngest daughter is an albino dwarf, bald and hunchbacked. And then they have one son, who is the baby of the family, who is perfectly normal. Or is he? Perhaps not quite as normal as he looks. And they also have a number of other siblings who were stillborn or who died soon after birth, because they were too freaky to live. They had massive deformities. They couldn't survive, and perhaps they died for some other more nefarious reasons. And of course, instead of burying them, they've been made part of the family's act by being preserved as exhibits in glass jars for people to look at. And the mother is very careful about dusting these jars and all. Pretty crazy. The story is told in quite an original way. It's told alternatively in flashbacks from when they were a family, from when they had what you might call a functioning life. And then it jumps forward to what is the present, where the narrator is in a totally different life situation and has different problems. The narrator is the youngest sister, the hunchbacked albino dwarf, Olympia Benevsky. She's the narrator, first person singular. She remembers all her experiences with her family very well, and she tells them to us as a way of leading into the situation that she is in now and why she feels she has to do what she has to do. And she brings it together. You start out with some strings sort of hanging loose, and she brings them all together into one densely woven rope of a story that just wraps around you and will not let go, and ties up all the loose ends. And I have to say that the ending of the family section of the narrative was perhaps a little over the top for me. But when I was in the story, I bought it. She had to have some kind of dramatic conclusion because the story is just so unique. And I have to say it is perhaps not for everyone, but it is a wonderful, wonderful read. Her language is so powerful. Her descriptions of this family, of their existence, of their life together, of their emotions, is just stellar. It's one of the best books I've read so far this year. I will definitely be reading more by this author, Katherine Dunn. She is incredibly talented both as an imaginative writer and also as a literary writer, because this is a unique setting, unique characters, and also, and again, perhaps the strongest point of the novel, this incredibly powerful language that I felt just flowed over me and drew me into the story. And I have to say, even if you feel the subject matter doesn't appeal to you, you might want to check it out just to read some fantastic English, because she really is an amazingly talented writer. I am so glad that I read this book. I will be reading more by her, and I can hardly recommend this book enough. Geek Love by Katherine Dunn. It sounds crazy, and it is crazy, but it's a wonderful write. Do read it. It's wonderful.